March 23rd, 1775. Patrick Henry gives his famous "Give me liberty or give me death" speech, which is changed from the original "Give me slightly less liberty, but please don't hurt me." Welcome to The Revisionists. I'm Brian Flynn.
I'm Zach Powers.
And our guest is returning favorite, friend of the show, the wonderful Miriam Moreno, everyone.
Yay!
Yay!
You said friend of the show!
Yeah!
Yay! Citation needed. Take that, libs. I don't know what... This is my new character.
I hate it so
I'm
much.
4chan Zach.
Oh, no. No.
It's been a while since we've recorded, and I've gone through some changes.
Changes where you just... Oh, God
got worse. All around got worse.
Oh, God. You've gone from butterfly back into a caterpillar.
Yeah. Brian has also changed. He's now like teen YA novel about sick kids Brian, who's sick all the time.
Yep. I've gone
His
straight
death
from,
is imminent.
Oh, God. If only. No, I've gone straight from, like, stomach flu to very intense, like, cold or regular flu, I guess, to now bronchitis. So,
yeah.
You know, it sounds like that girl that had Munchausen.
Oh, yeah, it's like a Dee Dee Blanchard situation.
Dee Dee Blanchard. But who's making you sick, Brian?
Well, I live in Chicago, so it'd be Munchausen by distant proxy, if that were the case.
Yeah, Zach keeps mailing me, like, pies with weird things baked in them.
There's nothing baked in them. It just takes them 2 weeks to get to you, and you still eat them.
And that's why you have polio now.
Of course. The P in polio is for pie.
Previously, Brian and I had like a Jerry and George from Seinfeld relationship, and now it's more like a Fault in Our Stars thing.
Oh, God, where you're both dying.
Yeah.
And you can't touch? Or no, that's that new movie, 5 Feet Apart.
That's Rogue and Gambit, I think, actually. Wait.
5 feet apart. We also have a 5 feet apart relationship, but it's like 1,000 miles apart.
Yeah, 1,005 miles apart.
Yeah.
Wait. I kind of don't want to know, but I feel like I need to. Who's Jerry and who's George in that situation?
Well, you're clearly George.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking that, too. I was like, he's George.
There are no good options, really.
I don't think Jerry's great, but clearly...
Yeah, no, I'm...
Actually, I mean... I'm more cynical, but I also make fun of you more.
Yeah, that's
and
really...
And George is usually the punchline, yeah.
Yeah. I'm George because of you. You make me George.
Yeah.
The thing is, externally, you're George and I'm Jerry, but internally, you're Jerry and I'm George.
Yeah. Internally, I might be Kenny Banya.
Oh, God, Banya.
What is this? Is this a podcast? What do we do?
Yeah, it's covering Seinfeld.
Yeah, so welcome to our Seinfeld podcast.
Surviving Seinfeld.
Comedians and computers getting coffee.
Yep, I lost. Fluffy shirt. Chinese waiting. Anyways.
Oh, God.
In this podcast, we discuss a person or event from history. One person on the podcast gives a true account, or I should say the government-sanctioned account of that person or event from history. Another gives an alternate, also no less valid version of that person or account from history that can be as crazy as they want. It could involve Batman or... Blade or Badgers or anything else that starts with a B.
I was going to say.
Or Banya.
Banya. Yeah, could have Banya.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Boomin.
Right.
Other any more Seinfeld
Bennis.
Bennis, yeah.
Uh-huh. And at the end of the episode, we vote on which becomes the true history of this brilliant, brilliant, beloved blue marble going forward. I said multiple things twice. But yeah, so that's the basic gist of the podcast. We recently covered Thomas Lay, the murderous Australian politician. Mm-hmm. Since we're a couple weeks behind, we have multiple results to give. the murderous Australian politician Thomas Lay, who is reincarnated in that guy who got hit with an egg this week.
Oh, God.
Or by the time you listened to this a few weeks ago, but the guy who was
this is coming out tomorrow.
Asshole. Yeah.
This is actually our closest to live episode ever.
But that the true story won out on that murderous, awful Australian politician. And in terms of Robert Smalls, the man who was born a slave and stole a Confederate ship and won his freedom and stole his bought his former owner's home. The true history won out on that story as well. Deservedly so. Robert Smalls is a good person. So we don't always cover those, but last episode and this episode, we are covering good people, weirdly enough.
Yeah, like, for this whole, like, Civil War, like, series, we're actually probably talking exclusively about good people, since we're talking about it, like, through the experience of Black Americans, and instead of, like, Confederate generals. And
we're not going to throw one surprise
Northerners
in there. One, like, super racist, founded, whatever the name of the guy who founded the Ku Klux Klan was, Forrester, just tossed
Nathan
in the
Bedford
middle.
Forrest. I mean, we could talk about him at some
His
point.
first name wasn't Clue?
Yeah.
Clue
Yeah, it was... Yeah,
What
it's
a
Klu's
name.
Klux Klan. It was originally...
Ku Klux Forest.
We're...
True, but not entirely funny fact. Ku Klux Klan is supposed to be the sound of, like, a rifle loading and getting jacked in, like the magazine getting jacked into the cartridge.
I just had to do it, like...
Oh.
Ku Klux Klan.
God, what fucking nerds. Jesus.
What? That's so
Yeah.
stupid.
That could be wrong, but that is what I've heard. That's
I
the
could see
slogan
them
of our
making that
podcast.
up. Yeah, that could
by
be...
the way.
That could be wrong, but that's what I've heard.
Wikipedia said so.
Yeah.
But this week, we're not covering the Ku Klux Klan.
No.
We're covering the opposite of that. Sojourner Truth.
Oh, God. What an opening.
Yeah. Ooh, doctor.
Sojourner not racist.
Yes.
And I believe Miriam has the true story.
I do.
And Brian has the other equally valid...
The other truth.
Yeah. If you guys are ready, are you guys ready to jump into the main topic this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Miriam, whenever you're ready with the official story, I should say.
Oh, God. Okay. So the last time I heard about Sojourner Truth, I was like 9, I want to say. And I remember she was an abolitionist, and mostly I just assumed she was Southern, even though they told me she was born in New York. And then I went to Wikipedia, where I do my research all the time, and they said she was born in New York. So I think it's just like this connection that everyone thinks like people are born in the South all the time.
Well, and
during this time,
that sort of that comes up with like her most famous speech
Oh,
too.
yeah.
But we'll get to that.
we'll
And
get
of course,
to that.
African
in
American
a second.
peoples, like at this time in the 1800s, like you kind of assume they're from the South because, like, that is where they had most of the slaves. And, you know, like that's just the reality of the world. That's where most of the African American people in the country were at the time.
But of course, we
Exactly.
forget about slavery in the North.
Yeah, you forget
It
all
existed.
of it had slavery.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The whole thing.
Yeah. These libs. Okay.
But many states, by the time the Civil War had broken out, like had already ended slavery in the state.
North.
Yes.
Yeah. So she was actually born Isabella Baumfree, which I did not know. I probably knew when I was 9, but now I forgot. And she was born a slave. And in New York, she only knew Dutch, I guess. Or was it Danish? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, no. Different, but like, yeah, Dutch.
I have brain damage, you guys. I can't retain anything. So yeah, she knew Dutch, and that was her first language. And then she was sold at the age of 9, along with a couple sheep for $100.
Wow.
And yeah, so she's been traded around her whole life.
I mean, being sold is already insulting enough, but
it's so insulting. Oh my God.
Okay.
It's
like,
weird to talk about now. Like, I remember doing this in elementary school and just like, yeah, she was, whatever. And now it's like, oh God, that's so awful.
Like so matter of fact.
Yeah, so matter of fact. And a lot of this kind of sounds like what's going on now, and it's awful. I don't like it. Down with the white man. Anyway, so Sojourner was one of 12.
Thank you for listening to Brian and I's podcast.
That's the sound of 2 collars tugging.
Oh, God. So she was born one of 12 children, I guess. And let's see here. She spoke Dutch, and she was sold around a lot, but like I don't really remember to who or what. Like, she was sold so much, and then she was actually raped by one of her slave owners.
Oh my God!
He's like, you're just jumping in.
I had a wheezy laugh for a moment, and it was not about the story. Brian was taking the picture.
Yeah.
During the part about being raped by the slave owner.
And he's just like taking a selfie.
Did not plan on it happening that way. I was just posting to the Instagram, trying to be an okay producer.
Have some sensitivity, Brian.
Sorry.
This is not the time for selfies.
So she was raped by a slave owner, and then I think that son that was born, she ended up running away and being free and living with this family that bought her basically for $20 during the time where, like, they were gonna be free in the North, and so she like was sheltered there for a while.
The thing I read earlier in getting ready for the alternate history, it had a quote from her that I love, because like the person she escaped from had promised to give her freedom on like July 4th, 1826, because America was like 50 years old, which was okay. But then he didn't, like he backed out. And so she
could have seen that coming.
Yeah, right.
From a slave owner.
She escaped, but later she said, quote, I did not run away because I felt that would be immoral. So I walked away thinking that would be fine.
Yeah, like,
which was,
does that literally mean she walked away?
I don't know. That's like, but that's my favorite quote.
That's amazing, because like I have jobs that I can actually quit legally, and I always run away. I never walk away.
Oh no.
I quit. Bye.
Bye. I can't use you as a reference anymore.
You couldn't before, don't worry.
So she left. She escaped to freedom and with one daughter, but she had to leave her other kids. And so she was living with this family, and they helped her out. And then she learned that her son that was born from the rape case, trigger warning, rape. But she learned that he was sold to a different family, which was illegal, even more illegal than being sold as a person. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize there were
because
there's legalities to, like, you can't sell him because he's part of this family. It's so weird.
Well, because he had been born free, I think, just because of the timing.
But he was like, but he was sold off to a different family. So
regulation on slavery is like the ultimate polishing a turd thing I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, it's such bullshit. And the whole fact that like they had to wait a year because the law was gonna turn in a year. It's like, okay, but so you acknowledge that these are still people that need to be free, and you're still like, but let's wait a year and get some more labor.
Like
what? Whatever. Slavery, racism is crazy, you guys. I can't even right now.
Mitch McConnell. That sounds like something Mitch McConnell came up with. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, like the most bad faith shit that I've ever heard of.
So she took them to court basically and won her child back, which I didn't even think, honestly, that she could do or win. That's pretty crazy.
That was the first time anyone had successfully, person of color had successfully sued a white person.
Yeah.
Oh,
which
wow.
is super dope.
For freedom, I believe. I don't know if there were any like other cases.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
Probably not a lot.
Yeah.
Name a time. I'll wait. But so then she got super religious and became really Christian, and she moved to New York City and she worked as a housekeeper for a couple people. I thought this was kind of funny on Wikipedia. Not funny at all. But she befriended this like.
I'm just gonna go ahead and edit Wikipedia right now to have your review at the top. Funny,
but not funny at all. So she befriended this other like cleaning like housekeeper. They're called housekeepers. This other housekeeper, and it says. Who claims she had once been enslaved by George Washington, like a slave to celebrities or something. Like that's so weird to put in this article. I think I don't know. I thought it was
the worst
kind of crazy.
tabloid magazine of the time.
Yeah.
Slave to celebrities.
The inside scoop
Yeah.
of George Washington. That pervert. And so let's see. Yep. And then she got really religious and she became a Methodist. And then that's when she turned her name from Bell to Sojourner Truth, because she said God was speaking through her. She said, "The Spirit calls me and I must go." And so she went around traveling and preaching about abolition of slavery and women's rights. Like she was a big part of the suffragettes. But not really associated with that, I think, because she kind of called him out.
Yeah.
So.
Because, like, that was, like, dawning phase of white feminism. And I also realize a white male saying anything about white feminism is the fucking worst. Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's fine. You're acknowledging it. That's half the battle.
Yeah.
Oh,
man, if only.
And then.
The rest of the battle is Molotov cocktails, everyone.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I'm cutting that out.
Let's see. So she was traveling around. She became buddies with Frederick Douglass, which I hear super chill.
That's what I'm going to put on his Wikipedia page. Frederick Douglass, super chill.
Yeah, no,
citation.
They called him Fundrick Douglass.
Super chill abolitionist.
Sojourner Truth, funny. Frederick Douglass, super chill.
Super chill. Just a couple of people you want to hang out with.
Who's the bad boy? Who's the cute one?
Who's sporty? Who's sposh? So I thought this was kind of cool. She she joined this group, the Northampton Association of Education and Industry in Massachusetts, and it was a bunch of abolitionists and pacifists, and they like basically ran this like, I think it was like a farm where they raised livestock, and they tried to be like self-sustaining, but then it didn't work out, and they're like, okay, bye, like just for like 4 years, let's hang out, and then it didn't work out. So then they all kept being abolitionists somewhere else, which it sounds like a cool place to live, honestly, in their little community, but guess they weren't making money.
Yeah, you gotta make money from being an abolitionist.
Oh no. But then she was traveling around. She went to the Ohio Women's Rights Convention in Ohio. And
Ever heard of it?
Ever heard of it? Who's from there? Is LeBron from there? No. Who's the famous?
I think he moved. Like LeBron went to Ohio.
Oh, okay.
He grew up in Akron.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Holy shit! I am genuinely shocked you know that off the top of your head.
As am I.
Brian
obviously.
or me? Because you should be
Anyone
shocked.
in this conversation.
Akron is where LeBron played baseball, and no, I'm just kidding.
I almost know the name of his high school. What's happening to me?
What? All right. So that is where, so she was part of this like women's rights convention in Ohio, and that's where she gave her famous Ain't I a Woman speech. And something crazy that infuriated me so much about this, and I know, Brian, you probably did too. So like she couldn't write. So I think she just gave the speech off the top of her head, and it was like very moving, very powerful. Everyone was there, very supportive. And so a month later, an article came out, and it was like, oh, this isn't verbatim. We're just letting you guys know. Like, we're being straight up. And they didn't say that, but they were like, we're being straight up. This is just what we remember about the speech. So they like quoted her speech, and it was very powerful. And it was like, I'm a woman. You're talking about these other women that they deserve all these good things, but you don't see me that way. And, you know, all this stuff. And then this article, this other version of her speech came out 5 years later, I think. You guys can stop me if I'm wrong.
No, I'm just amazed by the initial reporting on this speech sounds semi-accurate, right?
Yeah,
and
semi-accurate. It was very eloquent.
This is a speech that was not written down by the speechwriter. It was not written down by the people listening. It was reported a week later, and it was somewhat accurately reported.
Yeah.
And now we live in a time where there's a video of people saying things constantly, and people just are always like, they didn't say that. Even when there's video.
Yeah. You can deny a fucking video. So then this version comes out like 5 years later, and it's so inaccurate, and it's just so insulting. I read it and I was like, what the fuck is this? But basically it like paints a picture. It's like everyone didn't want her to talk, and everyone hated her, and they were like, you're a man. Why do you have all this like, what's it called when you have self-esteem? Like high self confidence.
Why are you asking me?
Why would I ask you?
Much like the Akron, Ohio thing, this is the wrong group of people.
I am amazed.
This is the wrong group of people.
So amazed I knew LeBron. No fucking chance I'm gonna get confidence.
Yeah. So she had a lot of confidence. That's what high self-esteem is. I wouldn't know either. And
it's good that you told that to our listeners also, because
they might not know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't.
They were like, oh, who is this person? She has so much confidence. She must be a man. So they just kind of ran with that. I tried to read some of this, and it's awful, and I don't even want to read it out loud.
Yeah,
should I? No, I shouldn't.
Could you give a Cliff Notes-ish?
It's okay. So basically, they repeat the part where she says, "Ain't I a woman?" like 10 times in the inaccurate speech, just kind of emphasizing, I don't know, sexism. I don't really know what they were trying to achieve with that. But in the initial one, she only said it once. Like, and if she said it at all, they think she didn't even say it at all. But in the second one, or the bad one, she had like terrible like language and
so they wrote it in like racist
southern, like they made her sound southern,
like
and drawn out, and a lot of uses of the N-word, which in the first one there was no use of the N-word, and then the second one there is a lot, and it's just like she's talking like I don't know, just very terrible. And it doesn't make any sense because she was born in New York. She's never
read that, because as far as I'm aware, so far this podcast is N-word free, and I'd prefer to keep it that way.
No, I'm not gonna read that. Oh no.
We have a little sign here that says
that way.
80 episodes without the N-word, and I'd hate to roll
Zach,
it back.
I think this is like
Tune in for more.
So let's.
Well, episode 6 was a rough one then.
Oh no.
Zoinks. Okay.
But that's basically the difference of the two. And it was just, I think it was to paint a picture of like slaves, even if they were freed, they're uneducated and they are lesser than, and she's crazy for thinking she could even talk in front of these people. Like, it was just some fucking bullshit, and I don't know. It was very angering. I was very mad about it. But that's her famous speech. And I'm really upset that we'll never know what she really said. And I'm sure it was very moving. Because then she got, like, a touring deal from it. It wasn't actually, like, a touring deal.
She's got opening for 21 Pilots, I think.
No! She got to, like, travel and give more speeches. And she was always just, you know, championing for women's equality. And not just for white women, obviously. She was very outspoken about black women. And obviously, like, women of color always have to carry the brunt of feminism and inclusivity. And did you guys really want me on here? Because I'm angry.
I mean, the only reason that Roy Moore is not a senator right now is because of women of color. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
But she's a super cool lady, and she was an abolitionist, super badass, and she championed for women's rights. Mm-hmm. And that's all I got from that. Not that that's not enough. That's a lot.
Of course. Miriam, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm JD Lopez, the host of Left Hand Right Brain. It's a free-flowing, wide-ranging conversation that I have with artists doing interesting and creative things here in Denver and beyond. We talk about their personal stories, break down their creative process, and what motivates them. Spoiler alert, it's mostly spite. We talk about all these things and more while kicking back, cracking wise, and always having a good time. You can find old episodes and everything you need to know at lefthandrightbrainpod.com.
Yeah. Brian, you, of course, have to tell the alternate version of a very inspiring person.
Yeah.
You have to make a joke out of the life of a person who is clearly great and inspiring and is taught about to this day. So I'm going to let you go ahead and do that.
All right, let's take
she's
a crack
got a
at
statue,
this. So, look, Sojourner Truth's story is, like, true. And I'm not going to do anything to upset that notion right now.
So you acquit yourself. You secede from you do not engage.
Let's not use that word right now. But I'm just I want to talk about just a little known fact and a little known way she experienced things because Sojourner Truth has come unstuck in time. Which is the first thing you need to know. There's 6 English majors listening to this right now who are loving it.
Yeah. We all fucking read Slaughterhouse-Five. Don't act like you're up your own ass.
I didn't.
Yeah, I
did not
apologize for that. I couldn't tell if the look at Zach's face was disdain or just, like, not... That was... Anyway. So it happened when she was on the road to New Paltz, New York, after she had escaped. That was the first time. And so there was a brief flash, and she saw herself standing in a courtroom in front of a panel of judges. And then it was the briefest vision, and she was back on her original timeline. The second one, she was in Washington.
Can I guess as we go?
Yeah.
Anita Hill?
Is this like a That's So Raven situation?
I'm guessing it's probably not Blasey. I'm guessing Anita Hill instead of Blasey Ford.
Oh, no. I was going with her actual court case.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, like she's unstuck on her own timeline at this point.
Oh, okay. She's on her own timeline.
Yeah.
My mistake.
There's a weird thing at the end, but we'll see. Spoiler alert. Why am I doing that? I have no time to edit this episode. So another flash, and she's in Washington, D.C., riding a streetcar full of white people, which she did when, actually, another flash, Abraham Lincoln invited her to the White House in 1864, where, according to the article I read, he made a point to show her a Bible given to him by African Americans in Baltimore, which he presumably followed by saying, like, pretty cool, right? So flash, she's back in the present. And then another flash, she's on stage speaking to a crowd of white men and women that are largely appreciative. And there's a reporter in the front row taking notes. she can't make out what she's saying. She just sees the vision. Flashback. She's back in the White House with Abraham Lincoln, and he's taken out his guitar and he's playing some of the songs he wrote. Some things he's been working on, you know.
Famous quote attributed to Abraham Lincoln, quote, "So anyways, here's Wonderwall."
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln. That's how he ended the Gettysburg Address.
So anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Yeah. His second inaugural was like what, Champagne Supernova in the Sky.
That is a good follow-up.
Oh, that's a different song.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's a different band, I believe.
No, it's that band.
Is it? Is it
Yeah.
also Oasis? Okay.
Champagne Supernova in the sky. Yeah, I listened
Where
to
were you
fucking
when we were
that
getting high?
band. What's that band called?
Oasis.
Oasis.
So she sees herself speaking in churches all around the country, which she did. She went north, south, preaching and like speaking about equality. And then another flash, she's reading the reporter's transcript 5 years later and finding it not what she said at all and very, very insulting. And another flash, Abraham Lincoln's gazing at her very earnestly and just asking, "I'm doing okay, right?" Another flash, she's crumpling up the newspaper and making a vow that people will never forget that the sin of slavery in both the North and the South.
Never.
And finally, there's a great flash, and she finds herself preaching again, but she's in a modern-day mega church. And she doesn't know what's going on, but she absorbs the power of the mega church and becomes mega Sojourner Truth. And then, she...
She's in modern day famous scams, a mega church, one of the most scammy places on the earth.
I'm not saying she liked it. I'm saying she absorbed its power. Just by sheer proximity. And so she becomes Mega Sojourner Truth, and she rises every few years to show America the error of its ways. Which was more of a Godzilla thing when I was writing it, but I was also on a bunch of Dayquil.
No, because of the polio.
Yeah.
But I just feel like at a mega church, they have a really good PA system. This could really benefit her. She's a traveling speaker. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
And honestly, like, traveling speakers at mega churches make so much money.
They do make so
Shout
much
out to
money.
John Christ, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
To be fair,
He wouldn't let people in his church during the Texas flood, right?
Oh,
That was him?
Was that him?
Yeah, he was like, oh, I don't want to mess it up.
I thought you were
Oh, no,
talking
that's
about.
Joel Osteen.
That's Joel Osteen.
John Christ was the comedian who used to do
John
an
Christ
open
is-
mic.
So yeah, the actual
I'm
people who
mixing up
run
my
mega
Christians.
churches are almost always scam artists
Oh,
who
yeah. No, completely.
100%.
steal money from their patrons. John Christ is a Christian comedian who is a nice person, and as far as I know, has never scammed anybody.
Yeah.
But
I know he
mega
was in a
churches
Black
suck
Jack Pizza
balls.
commercial. That's all.
Oh, was he?
I know he booked that for some reason.
Yeah, mega churches suck balls and fuck Colorado Springs as a whole
Yeah.
for their whole focus
Not
on
saying
the
she
family
liked
and
being
mega
there,
churches.
saying it was just an accident of the timeline and Dayquil. But that's the alternate history of Sojourner Truth.
I mean, that's just as good as the story I told. Even mine, he was like better organized.
Well, I don't know that that's
Kind of.
I wrote things down on a page, then picked them out at random. Sorry. Before we move on to judgment, listeners, just want to say, if you want to interact with us, you know, you can visit us at revisionistpodcast.com or Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search Revisionist Podcast, the Revisionist whatever.
We're also starting a mega church.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to contribute to our mega church to save your own soul, please go to our Patreon. And for a mere $10 a month, you can guaranteed get into heaven. So
Yeah.
It's actually 10% of their
100%
income.
guaranteed.
It's supposed to be 10% of their income.
Let's do
$10.
that. Let's
Yeah,
do
let's
10%
do that.
of your.
Yeah,
Actually, with our listenership, let's do $10 because I think that's more.
That might be more than the.
Yeah, give us whatever drink tickets you've earned over the course
Whichever
of
is
the week.
greater.
Yeah. If you could just like slip us a chicken sandwich out the back door every now and then, that'd be super.
Perfect.
We do
We need
also
that protein.
Yeah, gotta get that prot. We still do have a few Jeff Tice designed shirts left. Hit us up about it, revisionistpodcast@gmail.com, and tell us your size, I guess, and give us $10.
Yeah, tell us. You know what? Go to iTunes and write a written review and tell us your T-shirt size.
Yeah, actually, honestly, I'll give a T-shirt to anyone who writes a review in the next like 5 reviews.
What is this called?
The
I'm
revisionist.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I could just give you one like right now.
I'm gonna log into my iTunes right now.
It's complicated because you probably don't want to write your address on iTunes. But if you send a follow-up email.
Yeah, yes, that. Well, Miriam's getting her T-shirt. I just want to say, Revisionist is a proud member of the Denver Podcast Network, along with such shows as Motherfucker in a Cape, which is a really great show hosted by R. Alan Brooks, who is the creator of The Burning Metronome, which is a great graphic novel. It's a show that examines geek culture through the lens of marginalized groups, and it's really fantastic. They record live at Mutiny.
Obviously, the Captain Marvel episode was great, and there was no controversy.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Captain Marvel.
You haven't? I actually liked it. Wait, what was the consensus? Do people hate it?
No, well, certain white men hate it before seeing it.
Yeah, of course.
Much like Black Panther and Wonder Woman.
Oh my god, I loved Black Panther. I hated Wonder Woman. It was like...
It was the best of the DC movies, for sure.
I have seen Captain Marvel.
I don't even... Yeah.
It's good. It's fine. It's not great. But it's a standard origin story. It's making a lot of money because it turns out making movies about women and or marginalized people is really successful because those people want to see themselves in those roles.
Isn't that so crazy? Wait, so you didn't like Captain Marvel? Which
No, I liked it.
Which woman did you hate in it?
I just didn't love it.
Yeah.
What?
Which woman did you hate? Was it Maria? Or was it the Captain Marvel?
Oh,
yeah, that confused me too.
I could give a spoiler version.
Yeah,
you know
Captain
what?
Marvel. Well,
Okay,
whatever.
it's been 2 weeks. If you haven't seen it by now, you're not going to see it. You got to get in now.
Annette Bening plays a protagonist and an antagonist, so...
Yeah.
She plays 2 characters.
Much like in all her movies.
Yeah.
I am going to see that over spring break. Hopefully that and Us.
Oh my god.
I saw Us today.
You did?
I was going to ask if that's the movie you came out of when we were talking earlier.
Wait, is Chicago 2 days ahead?
No, no, it's out. It's out here. It's Chicago's not on the astral plane.
Oh, it's the 22nd. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we are. We are on the astral plane. We exist 2 days ahead. That Mueller report, guys, lower them expectations.
That is crazy.
Wait, so did you... I mean, this is extremely off topic, and I'm, again, not editing this episode, but how do you feel about Us?
Yeah, did you like it? Were you scared?
I enjoyed it. I think the intent of it initially coming out of the theater is less clear to me than Get Out. Mm-hmm. It's more of a pure horror movie than Get Out is.
Oh my god, you should read the Rolling Stone article with, what's his name?
Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele on the cover, because he talks about how he stepped away from the blatant race thing, and then he was like, oh, I just want to be a horror movie maker.
Yeah,
and so
it feels
I think,
more like a straight horror movie.
well, that's cool that he achieved that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you gotta make it about race, Zach?
Yeah. I think there's a little less social commentary in Us than there was in Get Out.
Yeah. Get Out of Here was
That doesn't
really
make
good.
it necessarily inferior. It's like, but it's still an extremely well-made movie.
Yeah. Were you scared? Was it scary?
I have watched horror movies every
Okay.
day since I was
He's a
11 years
nightmare.
old.
He's
Yeah.
a nightmare.
So no, I was not scared.
Oh, look how brave Zach
Oh,
is.
he's so brave. What a big boy.
No, that's sorry. That was unnecessary.
No, bullying brings people together. You know, people don't talk
No,
about
that's
this enough.
Oh my god, I've become the Jerry.
No, actually, it's fully fair because 99.9% of the time, this podcast is me bullying Brian. And I'm willing to admit that. I bully him all the time. So
Oh,
it's,
no.
I
The
deserve,
smile
I
on your
deserve
face as
some
you
of my
say
own
that.
medicine.
I'm on
the
your
smile
side.
on
bro.
your face as you say that is its own
Yeah.
form of bullying to me.
Yeah, like you get off on it and it shows.
Yeah, it feels good though.
Miriam, you're a fantastic comic.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
Do you have any shows coming up you want to talk about?
I have Comedy Super Jam next week. I used to host it. Now I'm not hosting it because I didn't want to anymore.
Yeah, that's completely
Hosting
fair.
is so exhausting.
It's
you
the
guys.
worst.
Yeah. It's like, I need my one Friday a month
Yeah.
free. Yeah. But it's a super dope show at Mutiny Info Cafe. I don't run it anymore, but you should go support it because it's so fun. George is great. She's a great host.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you could cut this, Brian, if you don't want it said, but congratulations to
Oh, yeah.
my legit friend, Brian, for getting married
Oh my
between
God,
this
yeah.
episode and the past episode.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay.
Yeah, Brian very
He just
quietly and
dropped that in
suddenly
the-
got
yeah.
married.
He just
Yeah.
dropped that in the group chat, like, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry, I couldn't make it tonight. I got married."
that's like
So-
that's like the ultimate power move I've discovered. Is
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, thank you.
Sorry
It's like-
for not having an episode last week. We had a major life event, and
Yeah.
also Brian has been sick ever since.
I celebrated getting married in the traditional Flynn manner of becoming deathly ill.
Oh god.
The honeymoon was injecting himself with bronchitis, pure bronchitis disease. Yeah.
Yeah, just like doing lines of bronchitis. Just like it's the 80s all over again, baby. I don't know what the fuck that means. But no, yeah, thank you. It was great.
Yeah.
And it's very much still sinking in for me. But
well,
yeah.
it was so chill. You didn't get a big transition, you know?
That's the thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So,
now you have to. The cats are both of your responsibilities now.
yep.
Were they not before?
I mean, one was more my wife's cat than mine.
My
and one
wife.
was more.
He said it.
So, and
Get used to it, Brian. You're
Yeah.
Borat forever.
Yeah,
now.
you're Borat forever now.
I mean, I made the vow.
Me and my wife have cats.
And of course, the other cat was more mine than my wife's.
Yeah.
I gotta work on it.
Yeah,
I'm still
you're
learning.
Terrible at Borat. Well, that's cool. Now you have 2 kids instead of 1.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't only scoop my cat's poop. Like it was a joint. They were shared cats already.
I don't know.
That's the
being
kind of beta
George-
cuck move that gets you
Yeah,
married, Brian.
I don't know. That's a George move to just scoop up your cat's poop,
That's
even though
like
you both live
fucking.
together.
That's legit a classic George move. I
Yeah.
can see Jerry pulling that too.
Jerry would leave her.
Yeah,
He
no,
had to
Jerry.
scoop up the poop.
I
Yeah,
don't want to scoop of the poop. That sounded
Neither
more
of them would
Italian.
have
that
cat,
is
to be
worse
honest.
I
than
am
your
not good
Borat
at
impressions.
impressions.
I
Neither
want to
of them-
scoop up the poop.
Hey, it's a me, Charlton Heston. Wait, that's not even who I was.
No, you
Christopher
were doing
Walken.
Jerry
That's who I was going for
Seinfeld.
Christopher Walken.
What?
I love the guns. I'm a
I did not
Charlton
get Christopher
Heston.
Walken from that at
Yeah,
all.
this is a Christopher Walken.
Okay.
Everything's
I'm-
Italian.
I'm Charlton Heston or John Wayne. I'm a problematic because I'm a star from before 1990.
It's me.
Anyone except Paul Newman.
Hey, Ronald Reagan, forget about it.
You sound like Brad Galley. He only can do Italian
Hey, Brad
soprano
Galley,
voice.
what's up? This is
I'm Brad Galley. This is Brad
Brad
Galley.
This is a long outro on this.
Yeah. Anyway, goodbye.
Wait, we
Well,
still
we have
got
to do the final judgment.
You guys don't cut it like that?
Zach, do you have anything to plug?
No, I'm good this week. Let's keep
As
it
for
moving.
me, I co-host Queen City Companion with my wife. The next one's going to be April 4th at Mutiny Information Cafe. Also, my wife publishes Cherry Magazine, which is making its return from hiatus as an online publication.
Brian, you just got married. Just for once, give a real, full-throated "my wife," just so you can say you did it.
Wait, what are you plugging
I
first?
don't know
Think
that
about
I
it.
can. I don't know that I can do anything.
What are you
full
guys
throat.
doing
soul.
tomorrow? Me and
It
my
doesn't
wife.
Doesn't matter if it's good. It's just matter that you
psyching
did
me
it
out.
once.
My wife.
Oh God, that's so bad.
It's bad. It's bad. But you tried, and that's what matters.
Thank you.
Sounds
And
like
in
you're
marriage,
court.
trying is what matters.
My wife was with me the night of the murder.
I refuse to testify against
My
my wife. God.
It is though very bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Cherry Magazine, so look for that. I think that takes us to judgments.
You know, so Brian's story was basically the real story, but then he like Quentin Tarantino'd it. He did like
I
a
resent
memento
that.
version.
With the cuts and the flashbacks.
Yeah, like, oh, it's not chronological anymore. Hey, it's 1994.
Okay,
and we-
to his credit, it is really hard to, make a fantasy out of an abolitionist
I
story.
agree. I had to do the alternate history about Robert Smalls last time. And you know what? I lost. And you know what? It was the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
And today, the right thing to do, her name is Sojourner Truth, Truth. You gotta go with the truth on this one.
It took so long to say. Her name was Sojourner
Just like
something.
slammed on the brakes a
Yeah.
little bit just to hit us with that term.
Yeah.
Which, the right decision
Yeah,
also.
definitely
Miriam,
the right
thank you.
decision.
No, yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna give you fucking your
No.
alt editing like, anybody can be an extreme 90s director now if we just switch up the
Why is-
timeline.
I was going for a Vonnegut thing.
Yeah, okay. Vonnegut did it well, but
Yeah.
you're not Vonnegut.
Not you, Brian.
How dare you? I'm not Borat nor Vonnegut.
Congratulations on getting married. You're no Vonnegut.
No, I got your card. But I think that'll do it for this episode.
Yay!
Zach, thank you.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
I'm sorry.
course.
I'm sorry for being mean.
No, that's fine.
Congratulations on getting married.
Thank you. It would feel very unfamiliar if I wasn't abusing myself or receiving abuse.
Oh God.
Miriam, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
For everyone here at The Revisionist, I'm Brian Flynn.
I'm Zach Powers.
Have a good time. All right.
Is that how you end it?
My wife.
My wife.
You sound like a 70s porn huckster or something.